Update now on a story we brought you a few weeks ago. A New York-based satanic group wants to put a Satan statue on the grounds of the Oklahoma State Capitol, and it has now unveiled drawings of the proposal. So here it is. The statue features a bearded, goat-headed demon sitting on a throne with smiling kids next to it. The Satanic Temple insists it should be allowed to stand next to the Ten Commandments monument that's been at the Oklahoma State Capitol since 2012. David Silverman is the president of the American Atheists. Satanic monument next to the Ten Commandments, really? And David, you've got to agree with the rabbi, do you not, that this is absolutely a mockery and ridiculous?
Absolutely, not mockery, not ridiculous. The separation of church and state is what makes America great. Religious freedom means the government doesn't take sides, one religion or another. You may not like the Satanists. Guess what? That doesn't matter.
Do you?
Everybody is equal. I don't care. All religions are the same to me.
So you think it's perfectly fine to put a satanic, whatever message they're going to have up there, and an interactive display for children, by the way?
It's not okay to put any of it up there, but it is more not okay to
do you agree that this particular statue should go up?
It should go up and should be exactly the same size and weight as the Ten Commandments that are up there.
I just wanted to be clear. The 6-foot-tall Festivus pole made from empty beer cans about to go up at the Florida State Capitol. I'm not kidding. It's part of a not-so-subtle protest against the nativity scene already on display there. Bill, I am so outraged by this.
Welcome, everyone, to Deist Reality. This atheist monument in front of the Bradford County Courthouse in Florida is as disrespectful as the Christian one that sits right next to it. What were these town officials thinking, letting every non-secular group put a monument on common ground, opening the door for any and every stupid religion or faith mankind can invent? Let's take another look at this so-called non-faith, non-religion of atheism that, as I've said, mirrors all the other faiths in every way, and this monument is just another clear example. Both these monuments are inappropriate as they both impose a certain view on religion and God, again opening the door for all kinds of nonsense. Go to YouTube and study the videos on this new atheist monument. You'll see the absurdity of all these people. Watch each of them like small children standing on the opposite's monument in disrespect of the others.
However, you should read the Bible. Don't trust me. Read the Bible. Read the context. Read the hate speech. What is it?
In my opinion, this atheist monument is a joke for a so-called non-faith that's not trying to push their views in a religious manner. The very title atheist, like theist, refers to the nature of God. They have an atheist symbol to help them unite under this no-God concept of theirs. Atheist preachers who teach all about this God that isn't, and now they have this 1,500-pound monument that they plan on installing everywhere the Christian has one, that claims something that they all say is all about nothing. Like a parent trying to train their child not to do something they think is wrong by doing the exact same thing the child is doing wrong. The active atheist plans on eliminating religion this way. These people hate religion, yet they're doing and acting in the same exact manner as the other faiths they despise, acting like their atheism is some kind of salvation for the collective whole. It's not. Hypocrites, the whole lot of them, who are just as zealot about their own faith and their religion as all the other faulty faiths on matters of God. Look at the monument they installed. Did any of them give it any real thought, or were they just blinded by their disdain for the Christian faith? They engraved this thing, American Atheist, and then engraved 3 founding father quotes that never did or would define themselves by their unbelief and other people's fabulous faiths. All of the founders they quoted were self-professed theists, believing in some form of providence. Yet to all the youth or people who haven't studied these American founders who read the monument, they'll get a warped sense of these people's true character. Not to mention the blatant disrespect for the dead by imposing wrongful, negative attributes onto them as if they or their families wouldn't care. They were not American atheists, and they wouldn't approve of the atheists' very ignorant and unenlightened cause, like inscribing Mother Teresa or Billy Graham quotes on a Christopher Hitchens monument. Mr. Hitchens would not be pleased, and either would Benjamin Franklin, Thomas Jefferson, or John Adams be pleased, having their words that are taken completely out of context used to promote an atheistic agenda. They were not American atheists, and it's wrong to associate them with this monument. Again, what were these people thinking? Especially the people who allowed both these non-secular monuments on public property. Richard Dawkins' slogan shows us all that these active atheists have no clue what they're doing on religious matters and should stick to science that they claim they're so damn good at. Mr. Dawkins' slogan, "Religion, together we can find a cure," shows the hypocrisy of it all. Religion usually implies binding together or grouping together under a certain concept of God. Your cure is imposing another concept of God on the world, and you're all doing it in the same or worse manner as the faiths you despise. Like curing smallpox with smallpox. You hate what these Christians are doing when they put monuments up and then the atheist puts their own up. They hate when they evangelize and then they try to recruit others to be atheists out front in the public for all to see. Those who impose you are usually demeaned and belittled. Putting money towards atheist monuments and things like taking the Christ out of Christmas signs will not cure cancer or create a free energy source, and quite frankly has nothing to do with science or secularism. This might be different if these active atheists had something better to offer society. They're only antagonizing and breeding contempt, and so more wars on religious matters. I have studied many of David Silverman's videos, and I must say he does a wonderful job defending the atheist cause, or this so-called non-faith that supposedly has nothing to do with God, that's not being spread in a religious manner that they say is all about being secular. I too want the Trinitarian, original sinning, virgin birth, demagogical view, or wrongful interpretation of ancient linguistics that's been rudely imposed on society like some kind of a truth to go away. Because it really does change the adherence to the faith's worldview in so many negative ways, as does atheism, both of which breed spiritual and social segregation. We're all in the same boat when it comes to this power that produces all things just so. None of us knows what this force is, yet most conscious people have a faith or what we trust to be true on what it is not. The atheist believes there's no intelligence behind the design. The theist believes there is intelligence behind the design. None of us are arguing that there isn't something behind the design, as all rational people know there is. Again, we just don't know what it is. This is where we all agree. All of life comes from something. Does this mean we don't name this whatever? In order for a scientist to study something, don't we have to first give it a word or a title before we embark on the journey of understanding? I understand the title God comes with a whole lot of negative baggage for many different reasons that these fanatical Abrahamic faiths constantly bring out. But when the conscious mind contemplates life itself and how we all got here, aren't there only two options, both of which fit under the definition of the supernatural, or something that defies what we know to be true with the physical world, at least at this time in our evolutionary growth of understanding? We either come from absolutely nothing, or we come from something that's infinite in nature, or something that didn't make itself. Both of these views so far defy what we know to be true with the physical world. Both of these thoughts fit under the definition of the supernatural, making God the perfect title to start one off on a grateful path of understanding. Who created God is what we're talking about when we use the very word God. The creator or producer of the all that in reference to itself has no beginning and in like manner will have no end. If there's another way of looking at how we all got here besides these two options, please let me know so I can re-evaluate my epistemology on the matter. The title God for many of us today is an abstract pointer word that means different things to each individual. Many good reasons to use this title, especially if we want to rid the world of these fanatical Abrahamic faiths and the kind of dangerous atheism they breed. Now, if we can all agree that all of life does indeed come from something, and if we had enough respect for this life that we've all been lucky or blessed enough to be a part of, then why not give this force that brought all of life into existence the ultimate title of recognition that this word God provides? At least until science proves absolutely that there is no intelligence behind the design. Then we'll simply reduce the capital G to a lowercase g, or call it whatever it is that we find it to be. Let's give this force the benefit of the doubt on its intelligence, because at the very least, we're intelligent because of the designs found in nature that we as conscious beings mimic or copy. Our surroundings, our individual life experiences that ultimately come from the same exact power as ourselves, teach us, inspire us to create, produce, progress. We are intelligent because of all the products that this something produces. At the very least, let's show some respect for whatever this power is that produces and continues to produce all things just so. If we can prove this something that all of life comes from is real, we, the life that surrounds us, that we play a living part in, should be the evidence, then there must be a path of understanding that is equally as self-evident as this God of nature is. A real religion, a real path of understanding, a true theology where mankind can't possibly be deceived. To understand this force all rational people understand, and no rational mind will deny or disagree, we must study the very evidence that proves this force is real. We must study the collective whole. All the things that easily go synonymously with the title God, life, nature, the universe, we must study and understand. Not one person, all people. Not one book, all books. We must study everything. Could you Atheists imagine a world where all people treat life itself, metaphorically speaking, like a sacred text from God? I can, and most self-professed pure deists can as well. Mr. Silverman, American atheists, and all other active atheists, you will never eliminate these fanatical, Abrahamic faiths by telling them there is no God, because ultimately you're imposing your own potentially as dangerous views on the matter. In the end, all of you are Atheists, virtually undistinguishable from the other, all pushing a God that doesn't exist, pushing your own personal views on what started everything as if you hold some form of absolute. From the outsider looking in, with your symbols, your monuments, your preachers, your atheist evangelism, you most certainly look like a religion. And if you think your actions are not about faith, and that you're truly secular on matters of this power that all of life comes from, you're in denial, delusional, in like manner as the faiths you despise. When will you Atheists finally recognize and invite the pure or true deist into the religious arguments so that we can once and for all get this whole goddamn conversation out of the way and work on the real problems that plague this planet? The word or title God should unite us, not separate us, as this power's absolute laws found in nature will certainly be our demise if we don't start taking care of what really matters. I hope to hear from you leading Atheists who can put down your faith for the reality of deism, for a path of understanding that's all about truth, reason, and science. A path where our individual faiths aren't imposed on the collective whole, and are only as important as the truths that they may unfold. Don't take my word for it. Study this world hero called Thomas Paine and his reality on matters of God and religion. That's all I have to say for now. God bless. Over and out.
So when I talked to the president of the atheist organization that installed the monument, he asked me, when I told him I was a Christian, he asked me, so how did I feel about the monument? And you know what I said? I said, I think it's a great idea, because what it does is it gets a whole bunch of atheists whom we never would have the opportunity to share the gospel with, to get them out into the public sphere, into the arena, so that we can actually talk to them and hand out tracts and tell them the truth about how to go to heaven when they die. So, hey, I think it's great. They should install lots of atheist monuments and bring them out of their basements, out into the public, out into the light, so that they can learn the truth.
Your beliefs if we don't. American Atheists is the hard side of atheism. We're the ones who call people out. We're the ones who call bullshit bullshit. God is a myth. Religion is a lie.
We will heal this planet, one pure deist at a time.